Hi there, Virgo. Welcome to your end of January 2023 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. Oh my god. Some of these cards I'm like picking two out. That's okay. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Five of Wands. This can be a card of conflict. Now, when I look at those hands, there's like multiple hands, not just two, but more than that as part of this. So, um, this can indicate that you're not just fighting with one person, but with many. The disharmony extends beyond you and one other person. Now, if this, like for instance, if you have been having difficulty in a marriage or your primary relationship, it might not just be you and that person. There might be other people kind of stoking this. Why are they stoking this? Well, they have something to gain from it, perhaps. Maybe they are possessive of you in some way and they feel like um, you've been taken over by somebody else. An example would be if you get married and your buddies, if you're a guy and your buddies are like, maybe they're still single and they're like, what do God, can't you get some time to yourself? And they're kind of like hinting at, planting doubt in your mind that that your partner is really, um, you know, being very considerate of you and things like that. And they might just be doing that because they're wanting you to spend more time with them, and maybe you've pulled back a little bit. These kinds of things, or in-law issues, the battle of the parents of adult children. And these, when that happens, those people are really trying to live through their children. They haven't really given up. They haven't cut the apron strings yet. And that isn't really serving the child. And actually, I should say adult child because it's not child. And it can cause this, you know, conflict within the two people because they might say, oh, your mother is against me, and wanting their spouse to kind of denounce that. And it can be a big mess. So make sure that you have um, everything together, meaning, emotionally, that you know exactly why, like how your partner feels about you, so that you don't have to demand that they um, take your side necessarily. You can, if that person is has a parent who's a narcissist, sometimes the best thing to do is to kind of limit those interactions, but not even try to defend the partner, because then that can play into the hands of the narcissist. But just to have that superficial relationship, knowing that that person is not capable of anything deeper, because they're just, a lot of times they're just making problems, and they don't have that ability to kind of like be constructive in life. And trying to give them the benefit of the doubt might have proven to be an exercise in futility. So in the past position, we have the King of Cups. This can be a religious figure, a like the clergy. It can be a therapist. But, an example that came to my mind is, let's say that there was you have a child, and you were going to baptize that child, and the other side of the family are atheists, or they have a different religion, and they're like, what are you doing baptizing the child? You're going to raise your child a Catholic? Are you crazy? All of this, and infighting. I think that Five of Wands can be infighting, and there's just this never-ending battle. But you don't have to get sucked into that. You don't. One thing too is to remember is that you don't owe other people a running explanation of your life. You have the right to choose what you divulge to other people, even people that are close to you, especially if they have proven to be problematic in the past. Sometimes people overshare, and they give people the benefit of the doubt who have not shown that they are capable of that, of upholding that, and they just create drama. And so you have to be the one who nips that in the bud, expecting that person to change. Even, I do think that it certainly is within people's right to, make that request and say, these are subjects that I already have my own feelings on. I'm not going to change because you lecture me about a certain thing that I'm doing that I feel is right. So you have to kind of lay down the law. But if you're dealing with a narcissistic parent, chances are they're not going to honor that. They're not going to even acknowledge it, because it's not about that. That's not what they are all about. They're about trying to have you bow down to them. So it becomes a power struggle. And there's no power struggle if you're not letting them know what you're up to begin with. So very interesting, whatever it is. So 2 cards came out as the higher message or the spiritual message. One of them is a 6 of Swords. Some of you may need to just let go of the drama and choose peace. Sometimes choosing peace means, leaving a certain situation that is just simply not good for you anymore. You may have at one time felt like a certain relationship was even safe, and you just realize that you're fighting all the time. Perhaps that hasn't always been the case. And it's possible that if you and a partner have been fighting, you've also been going to marital counseling. But you may need to leave that situation because it's not getting any better, even if you've tried counseling. And the other card is the Magician. This is about being resourceful, being a conscious co-creator with the universe, The Five of Wands can be a competitive environment, but perhaps it's a little bit too competitive and it's very draining. And the Magician card to me is more indicative of somebody who is starting their own business, for instance, doing something on their own. What crosses you is the Seven of Swords. For some of you, this is that you're putting your faith in people who are not honest brokers. So if you've been trying to work out, maybe you've been going to counseling and your partner is cheating on you. And you don't know the half of what is going on because they're not being straight with you. And I don't mean to joke about cheating. You know, obviously that's not a very nice thing to experience, and it's not very nice for somebody to do that. But hey, it does happen, right? And so we can wring our hands about it, but it's not stopping it from happening. And quite honestly, it's something that is it's all about somebody else. And you don't have to absorb all of that. You can continue to live your life, continue to live your best life, no matter what somebody else is doing. But honestly, based on the other cards that I picked, I can see that this challenge card could mean that you aren't going your own way. That's another interpretation for the Seven of Swords, meaning that the person has been way too dependent on, sharing with other. Because remember, I mentioned oversharing. Or was that a different reading? I'll say that. Yeah, no, I think I mentioned that in the context of the Five of Wands, and you may be trying to share things with others who don't have your best interests at heart and who are going to try to thwart you. So sometimes you have to strategize things on your own, plan on your own, and then when you finally launch, you can let everybody know, but then it's like they can't knock you down because everything has already been generated. So they would just be criticizing a finished product rather than demoralizing you while you're trying to, sustain energy doing something. What's coming in is the Death card. This can be that the old way of life is irrevocably over with. So, you may have to face some music about something. Maybe you haven't quit your job, but you want to because of the Five of Wands. This is saying, yeah, it's all over but the shouting. Perhaps you don't feel ready to do it, even though all the signs are pointing to, yeah, it's over with. So you have to really put things into motion if you want to start something new, obviously. And we have as the outcome card the Page of Pentacles, and that can be new energy. You are Pentacles, Earth energy. The other Earth signs are Capricorn and Taurus, and it could be that you are, there is going to be a new moon in Earth, but that's not occurring until May, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a little bit of time from now. I don't necessarily think that that is referencing that time, but you may receive some kind of offer for a new job or some sort of communication, some message, maybe an email about a new job that is available, and that kind of solves all your problems, because perhaps you're trying to figure out how you're going to do it on your own, and you get some kind of an offer that feels, I would think that it might feel acceptable to you, but I try to keep things open because there are different people, maybe even of the same sign, but are experiencing these energies in different ways. All right, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.